Udhayanidhi Stalin set to be Tamil Nadu Deputy Chief Minister. Chief Minister Stalin's big hint earlier.
75ஆம் ஆண்டு விழாவை கொண்டாடக்கூடிய வகையில் திமுக பவள விழாவை கொண்டாட இருக்கு. ஆக நிச்சயமா உறுதியா நீங்க எதிர்பார்க்கக்கூடிய சூழ்நிலை உருவாகும் என்று நம்புகிறேன்.
Udhayanidhi calls elevation rumors.
Will you accept the post? The speculations have been going on since.
AIADMK predicts mega revolt within DMK.
The upcoming Assembly 2026, DMK is all set to split into different factions, with couple of seniors going to revolt against this decision.
Is Stalin Jr. fit to step into father's shoes? DMK's sunrise is the top focus on 6 p.m. Prime.
He was first an actor in Tamil cinema, then switched over into politics, tasting electoral success almost immediately. The first time he went ahead and campaigned for the DMK was in electoral politics. And now, after becoming a minister just a few years ago, he's all set for another big promotion. Udhayanidhi Stalin, the son of Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, is all set to become the Deputy Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. And this has been buzz that's been on for quite some time. But what we're hearing on India Today is that in the next 24 hours, you can expect an announcement from Chief Minister Stalin of a small cabinet reshuffle in which a few ministries will be moved back and forth. And the big announcement, the big headline will be that Udhayanidhi Stalin has been made the Deputy Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. The message is simple. The DMK, M.K. Stalin is trying to ensure that there's no confusion over exactly who will take over from him, who will carry forward his legacy, and who his political heir is. Details in our next report.
It's time again for sunrise in DMK. There's been endless chatter about Udhayanidhi Stalin's elevation. And now India Today has exclusive details about when and how Udhayanidhi will be promoted. Sources tell us that Udhayanidhi could be made the Deputy CM very soon, and his father CM Stalin has given the nod. Just a few days ago, Stalin had made it clear that change is the only constant.
திமுக என்பது சொன்னதை தான் செய்யும், சொல்வதை தான் செய்வோம். ஒரே வரையில் சொல்லிடுறேன். இன்னைக்கு 75ஆம் ஆண்டு விழாவை கொண்டாடக்கூடிய வகையில் திமுக பவள விழாவை கொண்டாட இருக்கு. ஆக நிச்சயமா உறுதியா நீங்க எதிர்பார்க்கக்கூடிய சூழ்நிலை உருவாகும் என்று நம்புகிறேன்.
Udhayanidhi, who is currently a minister in the DMK government, could be elevated within the next 24 hours, and it's clearly been in the works. Sample this. Months ago, when DMK MPs took oath in parliament, they did not just thank Stalin, but also Udhayanidhi in the same breath.
வாழ்க இளம் தலைவர் உதயநிதி ஸ்டாலின், வெல்க தமிழ்.
வருங்காலம் எங்கள் உதயநிதி,
வாழ்க எங்களின் எதிர்காலம் அண்ணன் உதயநிதி.
But amid all the buzz, Udhayanidhi has refuted reports, calling it mere speculation.
You have to ask the CM.
Have you got any info, sir?
It's totally Chief Minister's right to decide about it.
Will you accept the post?
The speculations have been going on since.
It is just.
Will you accept the post given?
The opposition in Tamil Nadu has already put out their daggers, firing the all too familiar dynasty attack.
The elevation of Prince Udhayanidhi as Deputy Chief Minister signals and marks the end of DMK in Tamil Nadu going forward. The upcoming Assembly 2026, DMK is all set to split into different factions, with couple of seniors going to revolt against this decisions. This is a clear example of dynasty rule in the name of democracy.
Udhayanidhi Stalin would be made the Deputy Chief Minister. Is that so?
As you said, it is a rumor.
A rumor will come to my ears also, but I can't say anything.
It is
for the CM to decide.
Do you encourage that rumor?
We are not against anything. He is proving his mettle. He is working. Yes, and as a minister.
CM Stalin is clearly now grooming his son to be his political heir, but seems to have chosen a different path from his father. Kalaignar Karunanidhi, remember, made Stalin toil hard for decades before he finally propped him up as his heir.
In the former AIDMK regime, O. Pannirselvam also was a deputy chief minister, and right now the senior leaders of the party claim that it is high time for Udhayanidhi Stalin to become a deputy chief minister to play a major role in the Tamil Nadu governance and also in the party. Vinay, Pramod Madhav for India Today.
Okay, let's explain to you how there's constantly been speculation that Udhayanidhi Stalin would be elevated, promoted to the post of Deputy Chief Minister, and yet it's been delayed for the last many months. And here's why. The first decision that was taken by the DMK High Command was way back in January that Udhayanidhi Stalin would take over as the Deputy Chief Minister, would be number 2 to his father. But then the announcement was delayed, and that's because of the entire massive controversy that we saw break out because of Udhayanidhi Stalin's comment on Sanatana Dharma, referring to it as dengue, malaria and whatnot. It became a huge nationwide controversy. To date, he faces legal cases over this particular issue. So at that point, obviously, the time wasn't right for them to go ahead and prop him up as the Deputy Chief Minister. And then the elevation was supposed to happen after the general elections. And during the general elections, you actually saw Udhayanidhi Stalin largely leading the campaign, taking on the BJP and the AIADMK, campaigning for all of the big faces of the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam in the general elections. But even then it couldn't happen, and that was because of the Kallakurichi tragedy, the huge tragedy in which so many lives were lost and the DMK government was under fire. Would have looked extremely insensitive for the DMK then to prop up Udhayanidhi Stalin, and obviously the timing would have been wrong because then Udhayanidhi too would have been under fire. So they've been looking to ensure that at a positive time, Udhayanidhi Stalin is essentially plugged into the system. And they believe now the time is right because Chief Minister Stalin has gone abroad, considered a successful visit to the United States. And keeping that in mind, at the back of that, the DMK is planning to make this announcement. Let's bring in Pramod Madhav on this broadcast, who brought us this exclusive news break earlier today. Pramod, good evening. What are you hearing from your sources, Pramod? When are we expecting that announcement to take place? The time is ripe now, as we've pointed out. There have been multiple delays, but now the DMK has said that, look, there's no better time than right now.
Good evening, Akshita. It looks like in DMK, everybody except for Udhayanidhi is completely aware that he is going to be made the Deputy Chief Minister, because every time this rumor comes up, we try to ask Udhayanidhi and he simply says it's just a rumor. Only the Chief Minister should decide on it. However, yesterday something very important has occurred. One is that the DMK party, as a party, has completed 75 years since, since 1949, and the Chief Minister said that it's an absolute victory because when it was 25 years old, DMK was in power. In 50 years old, DMK was in power. And even when it was 75 years old, DMK was in power. And he says, even when the party becomes 100 years old, DMK will be in power. And he also assured that the party is going to win in the 2026 elections as well. And this is where this particular, rumor, or we should say confirmed news, is going to play a very important role, because we've come to know that with the Chief Secretary's office, all communications has been done, but the governor is not in Chennai. He's coming back either tonight or tomorrow morning from Nagapattinam, and then we'll get the absolute confirmation, Akshita.
Pramod, how will this go down in the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam? Look, the face value of it, and we saw this in Parliament as well. We played some of those reactions where you had all of the MPs going ahead and saying Udhayanidhi Varga along with Stalin. And that by itself was an indication that Udhayanidhi is the political heir of Stalin. But there are many veteran leaders, senior leaders, who Udhayanidhi is now overtaken. And he hasn't, got the kind of experience that MK Stalin did when he took over as the chief minister. Karunanidhi made Stalin toil to reach that stage. For Udhayanidhi, it's been largely easy. Are the veterans on board also with this decision?
Well, it's very interesting because when it was for CM MK Stalin, there was an absolutely different issue because he also had an elder brother, and we all know what kind of issues went over there. But Karunanidhi finally chose MK Stalin as his heir apparent, but here it's only Udhayanidhi, and he doesn't have anybody to actually challenge for the particular post. In fact, Udhayanidhi still claims that he is not interested in becoming the Deputy Chief Minister, in an indirect way claiming that it's the Chief Minister who has to decide on it. But here we also see that already second-level leaders have emerged. For example, Anbil Mahesh, the Education Minister, Industries Minister TRB Raja, are all in hand, they're completely in the assembly, and they are with Udhayanidhi Stalin with each and every step. So this is something we very clearly see. And also, when the Chief Minister, when Udhayanidhi was given the portfolio of the Sports Minister, he was also given a very important portfolio which actually approves the special key schemes like providing morning meals or such. So he has indirectly played a very important role in all the schemes when it comes to Tamil Nadu government. So in the party, everybody knows that without any confirmation, Udhayanidhi is a Deputy Chief Minister, and if we have to even extend our kind of, the way this kind of dialogues are going to go, or the way this particular analog white move, there is high possibility that in the future, Udhayanidhi can also become the Chief Minister, but it all depends with time. But for now, assurance has been provided that he is going to become the Deputy Chief Minister, and everybody in the party have made their peace with it, Akshita.
Right. Everyone in the party is okay with the move, which means that when the decision announcement is made, it's going to be celebrations within the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, because the messaging here is very, very clear that after Stalin, number 2 now will be Udhayanidhi Stalin. Thanks very much, Pramod. We're going to keep coming across to you for all the updates from Ground Zero, because as Pramod tells us, either late tonight or tomorrow morning, you can expect the official communication to come through once the governor is back in Chennai. But let's take a look really at what Udhayanidhi brings to the table for the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam. Is his elevation something that will work to the DMK strengths or not? We break down those points for you. A quick SWOT analysis of Udhayanidhi. As far as the strengths go, he was a popular actor, enjoys a broad fan base, as many DMK leaders do. He's considered to be a mass leader in the sense that when you go to his rallies, you see that he attracts a lot of crowd, particularly youngsters. They do connect with Udhayanidhi, and that's something that works for the DMK. He has political exposure due to the family legacy, not necessarily because of experience of his own, because most of his career so far, he's been into films, not into politics. But that exposure has always been with him, considering, of course, that his grandfather, his father, all have been active politicians. There's the star attraction also of the DMK's social media handles. He is, in fact, prominently featured on social media, extremely active on social media. So again, there's an attempt to create this image that he has a younger voter base, a younger fan base that he brings on board for the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam. What about weaknesses? Number 1, like I said, is the lack of experience, and that means limited administrative and organizational experience. He's yet to prove himself, really, on whether he's able to steer the party towards a political victory, whether he's able to really handle a massive, gigantic responsibility like Deputy Chief Minister. He's right now living and working under the shadow of his father, of Chief Minister Stalin. So he's yet to prove himself on that front. And then, of course, there's the constant criticism that comes in for the DMK. He's a product of dynastic politics and a polarizing figure of sorts. So those two issues also weigh against the DMK, and you've seen that largely in the comments that have come in also from opposition parties who say that this is clear nepotism. We're not surprised. Polarizing figure also because of the comment that he made on Sanatana Dharma, which didn't do well for the DMK, and especially with their allies hitting out at them. Growing political factions also is a challenge. We've seen it happen with the AIA-DMK. Now, if he's going to take over the mantle, can he control with absolute vigor the way that his father and his grandfather do is the question. As far as threats go, he often finds himself in controversies. Sanatana Dharma controversy is one, of course, that blew up completely across the country, and he's faced so much trouble for it legally and politically. But besides that also, he's known to make very controversial statements on many of his political opponents that go immediately viral. Now, the Karunanidhi family itself may not like his elevation, and that's because they may feel that because of Udhayanidhi being elevated, there are many others in the family who kind of have to hit pause on their political ambitions. And there is also, of course, the issue of the hold of a family in a party that's born out of a social justice movement. What is the messaging you're sending across then when he is again brought up in this manner? What are the opportunities for Udhayanidhi Stalin? Obviously, of course, as far as the key opposition goes, the AIADMK, they've become much weaker. So for Udhayanidhi Stalin, with the work that his family has done, they've got the base already. It's just about taking that forward. Also, of course, young age, firm background. You see that very often in Tamil Nadu politics, working in favor of the politician. Let's see if that happens for him. There is also, of course, the family popularity. Like I said, they've got the cadre, they've got the reach, they've got the base. So that groundwork is already done for him. It's just about carrying forward the legacy of his father, of his grandfather. But that by itself is a huge challenge in a state like Tamil Nadu. Immediately, as soon as he's elevated as Deputy Chief Minister for Udhayanidhi Stalin, there's not going to be an immediate challenge that he faces because, like I said, he's still working under the shadow of his father, of Chief Minister M.K. Stalin. So he's still got that protection. It's going to take at least a couple of years for him to actually be tested politically and perhaps administratively as well. Udhayanidhi Stalin, and let's talk about his journey now of how he started off as an actor. And much like his father, of course, he first went into acting, but unlike his father, he stuck around for quite some time, has done quite a few films, a few of them hits, but not raging, roaring hits. He wasn't a superstar of any kind. Udhayanidhi also tasted a whole lot of success as a producer of Red Giant movies that he says he stepped away from now to enter into full-time politics. Let's take a look at the journey that Udhayanidhi Stalin has seen in the last few years.
The rise and rise of Udhayanidhi Stalin, from entering electoral politics just years ago to gearing up now for a promotion to Deputy CM. Udhayanidhi became a household name years ago, but not as a politician. He first, much like his father, started off as an actor. He made his debut in the film Oru Kallu Oru Kannadi in 2012. Udhayanidhi then acted in several films like Idu Kadirvelan Kadal, Gethu and Manidan. But he did not see any standout success as an actor. But as a producer, as part of the family-owned Red Giant movies, Udhayanidhi got the rights of all the biggest films. He finally called it quits from cinema with the film Mamanan, which released in 2023. Udhayanidhi said he cut all ties from films, from production, and took the pole plunge.
Of course I am Stalin's son and of course I am Kalangar's grandson, nobody can deny it. But my leader has sent me to the public, to the people. Let them decide. I don't think it is dynastic politics. My leader has given me a chance to go meet the public and get their confidence and the vote. Yeah, I am already a full-time politician. I am into acting as well. That's my profession, but this is my passion.
He then hit the campaign trail and tasted success in his first attempt at electoral politics, winning from Chepauk in Chennai. In months, Udhayanidhi was promoted as a minister and allocated the Sports and Youth Affairs Ministry. He has since become one of the biggest campaign stars for DMK with viral taunts at the opposition.
மதுரையில 3 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி அதிமுகவும் பாஜகவும் சேர்ந்து எய்ம்ஸ் மருத்துவ கல்லூரி தொடங்குனாங்க. ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? அதை கையோட எடுத்துட்டு வந்துட்டார். இதாமா அதிமுகவோ பாஜகவோ மதுரைக்கு கட்டி கொடுத்த எய்ம்ஸ் மருத்துவ கல்லூரி. நானாவது எய்ம்ஸ் வச்ச கல்ல காட்டினேன். இங்க ஒருத்தர் பல்ல காட்டிட்டு உட்கார்ந்திருக்காரு பாருங்க. திரு நரேந்திர மோடி கிட்ட வெறும் பல்ல தான் காட்டிட்டு இருக்காரு. இது மாதிரி ஒரு போட்டோ யார் காலையாவது நான் விழுந்த மாதிரி ஒரு போட்டோ காட்டுங்க, நான் அரசியல் விட்டு விலகிடுறேன். இவர் எப்பவுமே எடப்பாடி பழனிசாமின்னு கூப்பிட மாட்டாரு, பாதம் தாங்கி பழனிசாமி.
So Udhayanidhi's journey as a politician essentially just about kicking off now, and he's going to be facing a number of challenges. One of them is to rein in the number of controversial comments that he's made in the last few months, because of which he's found himself in the headlines. There was the issue of Red Giant movies, Sun Pictures being accused of monopolizing the film industry. Udhayanidhi Stalin and the entire family essentially faced that charge, and they were constantly facing criticism from some in the film industry who said, we dared to actually speak out. Then there was the issue from September 2023 of Udhayanidhi Stalin equating Sanatana Dharma to dengue, malaria as diseases carrying social stigma. He never apologized for for that comment, but it triggered a huge meltdown and criticism of the DMK, that the DMK was firefighting essentially for months together. In May 2023, the Enforcement Directorate attached 34.7 lakhs that was available in Udhayanidhi's foundation bank account. So essentially, the allegation that was leveled by the ED was countered by the DMK, saying there's no direct link to Udhayanidhi Stalin. Now, in April 2023, the BJP in Tamil Nadu mounted pressure, accusing Udhayanidhi of money laundering and said that he's attempting to clean out his black money as well. Now, in April 2021, and this was much before he made his full-fledged political debut, where before, of course, the electoral fight, he claimed that Sushma Swaraj and Jaitley died due to pressure exerted by Modi, and this got the BJP up in arms against the DMK. So Udhayanidhi Stalin has seen his fair share of controversies in the few years that he's been in electoral politics. But now, as a Deputy Chief Minister, with that elevation inevitable, how exactly will he change his stand on certain issues? Will he change his style of politics? We will, of course, track all the latest and the big twists and turns coming in from Tamil Nadu politics. But that's all I have time for on this broadcast.